Canelo Alvarez weighs in at 167 and 1/2 pounds, 167 and 1/2.
Same that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
The fight between Canelo and Crawford is getting more intense by the day, like something left on full heat. There is no more quiet buildup. Every press conference now feels like the opening round of the actual match. The tension between them is so strong it feels heavy in the room, and everyone can sense it. The trash talk is sharp and direct, and it hits almost as hard as the punches will on fight night. Think back to the press conference in New York when Crawford pushed Canelo, because that was the moment Canelo lost all respect for Bud.
What I don't respect about Crawford, his work. He say, I'm not gonna do anything I don't want it, or somebody tell me I need to do, and he do it in that. He tried to back me up, not pushing me, but back me up, and that's why
Now Canelo is saying that the push was not even Crawford's own move. He claims that Turki Alalshikh told him to go ahead and do it. It makes you wonder if this was a real championship press conference, or some kind of wrestling show. Canelo is not falling for any staged drama. He clearly said that if you cross the line with him it becomes serious, and you could see he meant every word.
You pushed him back. Is that animosity building, or it's just part of the moment?
You know me. No, I'm not fake. I don't like to do that kind of stuff. I always respect my opponents, but they with me, so it's different, you know. What I think is Turki Alalshikh told him, hey, you need to do something. You see so nervous in Riyadh in the press conference.
Here's the wild part. Crawford just laughed while Canelo was clearly upset, and he did not react at all. He smiled like it was nothing serious, champ. Bud treated that push like a tiny bug bite that was annoying but easy to ignore. Now he is saying he does not even need a knockout to win against Canelo. That is real confidence. He is basically saying, I am not coming to take you out cold, I am coming to outbox you and make you miss all night.
To the press conference with the push, what was your reaction to that?
I just laughed at it, as you can see. You know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated.
At the same time, Canelo fans are nervous and worried watching all this unfold. The biggest moment came when Crawford said, when I win not if I win. That kind of confidence almost feels disrespectful, like he already believes the victory belongs to him. From that point, the press conference was no longer calm or friendly. It became a battle of pride and ego. Canelo stared Bud down and made it clear, you might be a good fighter, but I am on another level.
You're a great fighter. Let me know.
I'm a great fighter.
So you got your ass whooped by a good fighter, right?
You're a good fighter.
I'm saying.
But I'm great.
And when he repeated it, he made it even stronger. It was not just belief, it was him saying, I have faced moments like yours before, and I know how this ends, champ. Then Crawford dropped a heavy line when he said, every time you move up, you lose. He was reminding everyone about the night Bivol outboxed Canelo and left him frustrated and unable to figure out a solution.
You're a good fighter, and Bivol is a great fighter, right?
And question,
well, every time you stepped up, you lost. Great fighter.
I'm not.
That was not simple trash talk, it was about their careers and their legacy. You could feel the mood change in the room. This was no longer just promotion, it was about pride. Now the fight is not only about titles, it is about clearing the past. Canelo wants to wipe away the memory of Bivol, and Crawford wants to prove that he is the truly great fighter.
Like I always said, I'm a big fan of Canelo. He's a great fighter, but I think I'm better.
And just when it seemed like things could not get any more intense, after that heated press conference, Hearn stepped in with his promoter point of view. He is saying that Canelo may not be fully excited about this fight, because if he beats Crawford, people will just say it does not count since Crawford is smaller. To be fair, he has a point, because boxing fans can be very hard to satisfy and always find something to criticize.
I think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for.
You beat a legend, they'll say he was old. You beat a smaller guy, they'll say he was undersized. It's never enough. But Eddie also knows if Bivol keeps shining at 175, that's the real smoke Canelo has to walk through. And let's be real, That man already gave Canelo a math lesson once. So yeah, Eddie's playing chess while we're all yelling checkers.
I mean, like, you know, if Bivol wins, he could fight him for undisputed. That's a very tough fight. What's the other options? You know, Benavidez is up at 175. Obviously, His Excellency wants to make that fight, so guess we could.
While Eddie Hearn talks about the business side and plays matchmaker like it is a fantasy matchup, Stephen Fulton stepped in with a fighter's mindset. He is backing Crawford not because of money, but because Bud has the heart to challenge himself against bigger opponents. Fulton is saying he respects anyone bold enough to take on tough uphill battles because he has done it too. And he is right. If Crawford wins this fight, his record will not just improve, it will become something special, the kind of achievement people talk about for generations.
Always went with Crawford this fight. It's nothing against Canelo, because Canelo's a hell of a fighter. I don't know how he is as a person. Neither the guy, I don't know how neither of them are as a person, but I like Crawford for challenging himself. Like, that's the type of things I do and I've done. So I like anybody that's willing to challenge.
What stands out is Fulton keeping it simple and clear. He says use your brain in the ring, stay alert, and do not let Canelo pull you into a straight brawl. That is pure wisdom. If Crawford tries to trade punches head on, he is walking into danger. But if he stays clever and controlled, the smaller fighter suddenly becomes the challenge nobody can figure out. And Fulton is not just hyping words, he is speaking from a fighter's perspective, and that makes it hit even harder.
Money or not, you still have the heart to go in there and challenge the bigger guy. So, but I think it's gonna be, I think if Crawford uses his boxing ability, then it'd be
So Fulton was giving Crawford credit for stepping up, and then George jumped in like that friend who always changes the debate in the barbershop. You can hear him going back and forth, one moment for Bud, the next moment for Canelo, like he is switching sides just to keep the conversation alive. And honestly, it makes sense. We've all done that, changing our minds after seeing a few highlights late at night. George explains it like a chess game. If Canelo turns up the pressure, it could be over fast, but if Crawford stays smart and makes Canelo chase him around the ring, then the judges could easily favor Bud.
Canelo is the pressure fighter. He's got to put the pressure on Crawford. He has to be able to land his big shots. He's seasoned at fighting a super middleweight. He's fought as high as light heavyweight, as we know. So he is accustomed to the bigger punches, the bigger shots. I don't think Crawford can really land anything that's going to...
And let's be honest, the size difference is impossible to ignore. Crawford can be clever, but Canelo is built like a human tank. George is saying Bud has two choices. Either outbox Canelo like a shadow or risk getting hit like just another bag in Canelo's gym. That call for a stoppage shows George is backing Canelo. I respect that. But if Bud actually wins this fight, you can bet half of boxing Twitter will be scrambling to delete their old posts.
The ways this fight, can go. Crawford's way of winning the fight, I truly believe, is he needs to outbox Canelo Alvarez. He needs to, maneuver him and make Canelo second guess himself every single time.
After George gave his detailed breakdown, Duke McKenzie jumped in without holding back. He is saying forget the hype, Crawford could really make Canelo pay. And honestly, he makes sense. Duke called out Canelo's recent performances, saying he has looked ordinary moving straight with little head movement. Then he pointed out Crawford's switch hitting like a dangerous uppercut storm ready to land, and you could imagine Canelo's guard being broken. What I respect is Duke being real. He says Crawford deserves this big fight, this chance to show his best. And if he brings the same intensity he's been talking about at the pressers, Canelo could be taking more clean punches than a freshman at their first college party.
He talks with a lot of spite, and he means it. And I think he's going to do a number on Canelo. I really do. And I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if there's a late stoppage. I wouldn't. I don't think he knocks Canelo down, but Canelo could just be taking so many shots. Referee jumps in and stops.
Duke McKenzie didn't stop at just praising Crawford's style. He went further, saying Canelo might be more about the money at this point. That's a big statement, because when a seasoned analyst like Duke hints that the hunger isn't the same, it speaks volumes. And if you look at Canelo's recent fights, it makes sense. He's been flat on his feet. Combos are predictable, not the same speed and snap from his rise. Basically, Duke just gave us that straight up Crawford could light up Canelo energy.
That's not going to beat Crawford. And Crawford ain't about to lay down or swallow or give up. Nowhere in that fight. Crawford will go, if he gets beat, which I sincerely doubt, he's going out on his shield. He's going down fighting. That's it.
Then Dan Rafael stepped in, and you know when he talks it's like opening the boxing encyclopedia. But this time he isn't just analyzing, he's hyping the fight like it's the Super Bowl of boxing. He's saying forget the last fights, forget the slow performances. Once these two meet in the ring, it's going to be a completely different story. And I get it, we all saw them look a bit off in their recent fights, but when history is on the line, fighters don't come in half asleep.
Event, it's probably the biggest event of the year in boxing. They're both great fighters. They're both Hall of Famers in waiting. As a boxing fan, I'm thrilled because it's a very fascinating matchup with two all-time greats. With the obviously caveat that you got Terrence Crawford moving up two weight classes to see what he can do against.
Dan explains it like Canelo knows he's facing a true pound-for-pound threat. And Crawford is treating this fight like the ultimate challenge. No second chances, no shortcuts, just pure skill and pride. I love this perspective because it shows one thing. Canelo won't be coasting through it, and Bud won't hold back either. We're about to see two legends fighting, knowing this match will cement their place in history.
Looked good in their last fight, but I suspect they're going to be a lot more into this fight. You know who you got in front of you in September, and Crawford saying, I'm fighting the great Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's like, I'm fighting the 4-division champ, pound-for-pound type guy, and Crawford that's never lost. You know, I better be really prepared. So I'm hopeful that aspect that they're really tuned in will help make it a bigger...
Here's the final take. Canelo versus Crawford is more than just a fight. It's a clash for legacy. The NYC Shove started the fire. Bivol's shadow looms over Canelo, and the analysts are divided. Hearn is thinking strategically. Fulton is giving Bud respect. Duke McKenzie says Crawford is coming for him. And Dan Rafael is raising the stakes. Bottom line, ego, style, size, and history all collide. Expect either a smart tactical battle or a high-pressure showdown. Either way, careers will be defined. If you like the breakdown, do the channel a favor, like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Pick. Drop your pick in the comments and tell me which round decides it. I'll be there replying, so bring your arguments, hit the bell, follow us on socials, and we'll catch you next time, same place, more action.